And hello there, welcome to Sister Sister, your favorite all-female talk show right here on Citi FM and Citi TV. My name is Jessica. Thanks for joining me once again. It's a brand new week with lots of prospects, of course. And today we're going to be getting into relationships, as we always do. Lots of people are going through different things, and we pretty much are their sounding board. And we like that very much. Thank you very much. So if you're out there and you have questions that you'd like to send into the show, please do so. And if you already have sent something, no worries as well. If your question or your message doesn't feature on the show today, chances are it will feature in the very near future. Plus, on our Sister Sister page on Facebook, sometimes we put out some of your questions there as well. So just keep an eye out for them on our social media. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, I introduce the ladies on the show today and we set the ball rolling. Thanks for joining us once again. It's Sister Sister. And you're welcome back, Sister Sister, Citi TV, Citi FM. We're also live across sub-Saharan Africa on DSTV channel 363. Okay, so now that you know exactly how you can be part of the show and reach us as well, let me say hello to my sisters. I've got Sabby, who's joining us all the way from Johannesburg, South Africa. What's going on, Sab? Everything all right?
Everything's fabulous.
I can tell. Red lipstick and things. You're looking radiant. Like, what are we missing?
Yeah, some of these things we'll have to talk about offline.
Oh, hello. I like the sound of that already. Super stuff. It's good to see you, and thanks for joining us from Joburg, as always.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Right. Let's also say hello to my sisters in studio. Of course, we have the usual suspects, Rosina, in-house, and
Jessica.
Olivia. Ladies. So good to see you, as always. It's another week.
Good to see you too. Just I can't see my smile.
I know, the mask is
but it's
worrying.
necessary.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah.
And Minnie Mouse is represented today.
I know, right?
I didn't know you were a Minnie Mouse fan.
After you have kids, right?
I know, right?
Automatically
Yeah, doing all the fancy dances and Mickey. Oh man.
Then you randomly start singing like the nursery rhymes and whatnot.
And the sad part is that even when you are sleeping, you are still watching the cartoons.
Oh.
Exactly. You have to keep yourself updated.
But your kids are older.
Yeah, they're older. It's a phase, and it's a beautiful phase to enjoy, actually.
She does other forms of cartoons now.
Ooh, yeah.
Right.
Preach, baby.
Ladies, our WhatsApp number 054-998-6996. You can send an email to jessica@citifmonline.com as well. Search for us on Facebook at Sister Sister LIVE, Sister Sister Live. Like our page, send us a DM, drop a comment on the page. We love to hear from you. Right, we'll go to our first message for today. It says, sisters, I'm really dumbfounded about my issue. I'm not one to share my marital problems with anyone, but this issue is beyond me. So there's this prophetess in my husband's life. According to him, she's the reason he can have an erection. We've been married for 7 years, and I just found out that any day we had sex, he slept with the prophetess in order to have an erection. Let me shed more light. He had to sleep with this prophetess on our wedding day before he could have an erection and eventually sleep with me in the evening. Any day we have sex, he would have to sleep with her first. The day my husband confided in me, I couldn't believe my ears, so I told him to stay at home that weekend so I can ascertain that he truly could not have an erection without sleeping with her. To my astonishment, he could not get it up. The whole of Saturday and Sunday, no matter what I did to him. I told him to watch porn, but he still didn't get a hard-on. He decided to pay a visit to the prophetess. And can you imagine he came back with a hard-on ready for sex? Jess, I couldn't sleep with him. I haven't been able to do that since December last year. The fact that any time he slept with me meant he slept with someone else shook me to the bone. My husband loves me, and I don't think he's having an affair with her, but I also don't understand how come he can't have sex with me without this woman's involvement. We've been to the hospital and the doctor says there's nothing medically wrong with him. Does it mean we're not sexually compatible, or is this just witchcraft at work? I don't find my husband attractive anymore after the revelation. This is a good man I love with all my heart, and I know he loves me too. I honestly don't know if this is the kind of man I want to be sleeping with, if this is his fate. How do we do this? We have 2 kids together. Yeah, I cannot believe what I just read. But yeah. Which of you ladies wants to go first? Rose. Sabby? Sabby, talk to me, girl. What's running through your mind?
You guys. Hit me with it first. Okay. First of all, I'd like to say that your husband's having an affair.
Thank you.
For me, personal opinion, your husband's having an affair. And this is I can totally understand why she's not sleeping with him right now, because it's such a, what's the word? But it's devastating, especially when you realize it's been happening since they were married. And so I can only, or since their wedding night, and I can only assume that before they got married, they weren't being intimate. And so for me, I want to know, how did it come about that this guy knew to go to a prophetess for his problem? And how did it come about that the way to fix this was to sleep with her? How does that help him? Like, what is the long-term goal? They've been married for a long, long time. So is the long-term goal that from now until he dies, he's going to sleep with the prophetess in order to sleep with his wife? I'm not there. I don't know these people. I can't make assumptions, but this doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. And so I'm a little bit confused. Is he telling her the honest truth? But also at the same time, she says she tried everything on Saturday and Sunday and he didn't get a hard on. You can't fake that. So I just feel like this is a medical problem. This is a medical problem. It's either that or he's not attracted to her. He's attracted to the prophetess. You know, there's such a thing as where you can be a couple, but not necessarily be sexually attracted to the person. If he's seen doctors and they're saying that there's no problem, I'm just a little wary about the story, and I'm also a little wary about whether he is still in love with her. And I would like to know if they've ever considered going to therapy and really delving into the questions, because she says she loves him and he loves her. So it means that this is a very, very difficult thing for her. She doesn't necessarily want to leave him, but I mean, as any woman, how do you become intimate with your husband when you know he's being intimate with someone else? Not only before he sleeps with you, but for years. So even before they even think about sex, they're going to have to do a lot of healing and try and figure out what is the root cause of this. Because I'm telling you now, there's a root cause. I'm not going to say whether it's normal or not, but there's a root cause. And the way she's speaking, she cannot carry on with this marriage the way it is. They need to really, really delve in and look at stuff. The fact that he can't get it up just with her, I would say creates trauma. And usually when someone has trauma, they isolate themselves. And so it might be that the prophetess has now represented safety. He feels vulnerable around her. He feels safe. He feels he can be whoever he needs to be, maybe with her, than his wife. Those are all things that need to be looked at before they even consider having sex. And then number 2, he's got to stop sleeping with the prophetess. That's what I got to say.
Right. Let's bring it in-house. Olivia.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So Sabby has talked about it from a completely physical point of view. Trying therapy, going to the hospital, all of that's not working. You see, sex is, how do I put this? Sex is a very, very interesting act. Every time you engage in sex with anybody, your soul is actually tied with the person. However we want to look at it, I cannot explain it, I cannot understand it, but that's what it is. You end up becoming, having your soul completely intertwined with that person. For me, right, they've gone to the hospital, they've tried a lot of things, it didn't work. It's been going on for years. They've actually managed to have 2 kids out of this. I think it's more spiritual. And hello, like, what kind of prophetess is this? Like, call a spade a spade. There are actually good men and women of God out there, but clearly this one is definitely not one of them. No real proper Christian prophetess, Bible reading prophetess, somebody who actually is like a woman of God, will not sleep with your husband. How can you be a prophetess and be sleeping with somebody else's husband and claim to be of Christ? Like, at which point in time did the Bible actually say it's okay to go out there and to be sleeping with people's wives and come out there and preach to people and say you're a woman of God? Like, that's so not called for. Even in the Bible, my guy, go and check. There was a prophet who married a prostitute. And even when the prostitute was going out of the marriage, he was upset about it. And that was just used as an example as to tell us how much God appreciates us. But that's just by the by. But in real life, there's no way this guy should be seeing this woman as a prophetess or a woman of God. There's nothing godly about her. She's living in sin and she's complicating matters. And I don't know what she's done spiritually to your husband, but sweetheart, she's completely voodooized your husband. She's probably used his sperm for all sorts of things. He's under a spell. However you want to look at it, there is physical stuff and there's spiritual stuff. We live in the real world. We can't take one and leave the other. This is not normal as far as I'm concerned, because you've gone to the hospital, doctors are telling you that your husband should be normal. Why doesn't he have an erection when he sees you or when it's time for him to be intimate with you? Could there be a mental block? Clearly, this guy wants to have sex with you. If he didn't want to have sex with you, he wouldn't have decided to stay home with you on Saturday and Sunday and just to wait to have an erection. Like, I mean, at this point, I can't even recommend any of my recipes because it's just not going to work. Yeah. It's just not going to work. So there has to be a complete, how do I put it? There has to be a way whereby he can completely disconnect from this woman. And I don't know how. I don't know how even spiritual you are, how spiritual he is as a Christian, a proper Bible reading, faith believing Christian. This is crazy. It's such a crazy mess. I don't even know how you're going to start from. I don't know what church you attend. And can we be a bit more, I don't know, can we sometimes use common sense besides just going to church, any kind of church, and thinking that whatever the pastor says that's it. If your pastor says, I want to sleep with you because he says he wants to, like, can we, like, God gave us all wisdom. God gave us all, if we ask for the spirit of discernment, God has given us the spirit of discernment. Clearly, this woman should not be sleeping with your husband. Right. Moving on, I don't think you should be in that church. I think you need to do a lot of fasting and praying for your husband. So it depends on what her husband actually thinks as well, whether her husband is ready and committed to actually go through the entire personal deliverance process, a walk with God. Besides that, I really don't know. I have a personal relationship with Jesus and he does amazing stuff in my life. This is my personal walk with God. And I can't sit here and say that God hasn't been good to me or he hasn't done miracles in my life, because he has. The reason why he has is because I read the Bible and I have a personal relationship with God and I have the spirit of discernment to be able to discern and say, yo, Master, yes, as much as this man of God is standing there talking, no, I really don't agree with what he's saying, because I'm entitled to have an opinion and I'm also entitled to have basic common sense. Right. So you need to go on a personal walk with God. He needs to fast, he needs to pray, and you both need to do it collectively together. Right. And hopefully something good should happen. And find a Bible-believing, proper church to go. If you don't have any, call me. I would recommend my church. God is good.
All right. Rosina, this matter. You need sanitizer.
Let me sanitize my hands so that by inference, the sanitizer will sanitize my lips. So that what I'll say will be sanitized. See, this is religious manipulation that has gone into religious brainwashing, period. You see, it's not medical. You see, the same way we have men of God telling women that unless I sleep with you and do da-da-da-da-da with you, you can't conceive a child for your man, or some blessings are coming your way, you have to travel, but to unlock it, quote unquote, I don't know, my penis has to help unlock this thing, and then they have to do all manner of things, or they have to watch the area, they have to insert some things personally to you. And the thing is that you see, human beings, when it comes to religion, look, religion is a group of people that have gotten together to want to interpret what God's plan for people are, based on what they feel they've experienced, what has been passed on to them, etc., etc. Because trust me, if I was born in a Muslim home, the likelihood of being Muslim is very high. If I was born in a Christian home, high. If I was an Indian, the likelihood of being Hindu would be very, very high. You understand? So there are a few cut crosses, the good experience, and then they, but the thing is that religion really is actually a way of life, a way of controlling the masses, a way of keeping people in check, getting people to adhere to certain moral standards. Now, over the period, people have gotten lazy. Even the books that have been written, be it by man or by God, they have good things in them, but they have various interpretations. See, this same book rewarded somebody to be a king, just even though he took over somebody's wife, or he took somebody's wife, later became a king. You understand? So sometimes such religious leaders use the same book, manipulate it, and then make you feel like what you are doing is not new. It's been done before, and this is the reward. Number two, most of them are psychologists and they are experts. They are just people who know how. Look, this girl is probably a sex expert. She knows how to get people in the mood. She knows what to say, how to say it, when to say it. And she is hiding under the guise of Christianity or under the guise of being a prophetess. Look, prophets do horrible things. When you complain, they say, touch not my anointed. Haven't you heard that in this country several times?
You hear that.
Prophets do abominable things. And you complain and they say, there's a scripture that says, touch not my anointed. But who determines who is anointed and who is not? In as much as, yes, they brand themselves priests, prophetess, we are also discerning human beings. When something is wrong, it's wrong. You understand? So, that being said, now, when somebody has been brainwashed to feel that his only solution to an acceptable erection is through that prophetess's, you understand? That prophetess's this thing. Forever, that's what he has gone to believe, and he has done it consistently for more than 7 years.
Charlie.
Because it didn't start on the wedding night. So this is something he's done over the period, and he has now begun to believe it. It's like telling a lie to yourself. If you tell it long enough, you begin to believe it.
True.
So now he believes it. Now, he stayed at home for 3 days, but mentally, his belief took over the practical. So mentally, he's like, no. For all you know, the prophetess has even threatened him that the day that you do this,
he will die
without my explicit whatever,
It won't work.
either it won't work, or this will not, or maybe you lose it forever. It will never happen for you, or you will lose this, or you lose that. So out of fear, you put your thing in check. No matter what pornography you are watching, put things in check. And you see, when you hold somebody down and say no, today you do it. So I'm keeping you at home for 2-3 days. It's an artificial environment. It's not natural. And because it's not natural and it's artificial, it will be very difficult for him to come to that point, because like you are testing it. It's like telling somebody that I can get you angry. Let's do it. Let's start. You know that I'm doing what I'm doing to get you angry, or I'm going to say something, I want you to laugh. You try so hard not to laugh because I've told you I want to laugh. You understand? Like, I want you to laugh. You understand? That's how it is. So once he has told you what he's told you, and my thing is that, listen, he's been able to keep it away from you for 7 years. This is what I think, my honest opinion. My honest opinion is that he and this woman have been involved in this thing long ago. Yes, the woman may be a prophetess or something, but they are in a relationship. They're in a relationship mutually. They know what they're about. Maybe they want to take it to the next level, where they no longer have to hide it from you that they're in a relationship. So he's hiding under the guise of, oh, she's a prophetess, and this is what she says. And for him to be able to back his story, he had to mentally control himself. So that is proof that without the prophetess's input, I cannot also serve you. So that now, as a woman, if you claim that you love me so much, let's keep this in the marriage, because this is what marriage is all about. Now, you have to help me to help you. So which means that in perpetuity from now on, if you want this, then it means that you have to approve of me being with the prophetess before I come and be with you. Now, you've had your 2 children already. So really, if you want to go, you can go. Carry your children and go. And now he and the prophetess, quote unquote, will now have a proper relationship. That's what I think. So I think that, look, he and this woman, maybe they go to the same church. They've been at it for long. But for one reason or the other, they couldn't get married. And he's hiding under the guise or the fact that she's a prophetess to come up to cook this fantastic story. And sometimes because you're in love with him, you want to give that story the benefit of the doubt. But I think this is just either a story, either a fantastic manipulation of the man's brain, or, like Olivia said, they've used his brain for some spiritual orchestration. Yeah. I don't want, you know what I mean? Yeah, they've done something. So he's not thinking straight. Now, when things like that happen, sometimes saying, Charlie, I don't know. So all I'll tell you is that, he has told you that all the times he has slept with you for 7 years, every time he's been able to satisfy you, it is from satisfying somebody first. And after you tried it and it didn't happen, he went to see her with your knowledge, came back, and the thing was up, ready to fire. So, my dear, ask yourself, is this something you want to endure for the rest of your life? Let's be frank. You see, sometimes let's not hide behind the guys who are cheating. The man has lied to you for 7 years, 84 months plus. Lied to you consistently, looked you in the face, told you in church that I love you, told you that, oh, you be my da-da-da-da, has 2 children with you. It took him 7 years to tell you that as many times as he's been intimate with you, he's been intimate with this other prophetess. And I'm sure this is somebody that you have welcomed in your home, probably cooked, welcome for lunch. Come on. There's a lot more to this. There's deceit, there's mistrust, there's so many things coming at play here. Look, if you know, listen, 7 years marriage, I'm sure before knowing this, maybe we thought you were having a happy marriage. So it's not up to me to say, Charlie, leave. But if you know that this is something you cannot condone consistently from December till now, okay, it's just 1 month. Maybe after 2-3 months you might forget. But trust me, if you know that you cannot forgive him, you cannot move on, you can't have this arrangement, my dear, don't lie to yourself. Yeah. The quicker, the better.
I mean, I'm just asking myself, so when the prophetess dies, he'll be impotent forever. He's literally taken. She's taken the erection away. It's
messed up.
I mean, if I were this lady, I will not be able to live like that. I mean, the moment I found out that this was what was going on, that would have been the end of the relationship for me.
And how many people? The prophetess, how many people is she curing that way?
Thank you.
See, the risks are just too many.
That's crazy.
It's not worth it. And Charlie, just for her sanity's sake, I think she really needs to just look at this marriage again. Good luck. May says it's psychological. Don't mind him. He's enjoying the woman in the name of prophetess. You have no idea how poisonous religion can be. They've teamed up to cheat on you and traumatize you as well. Jennifer says, this is unfortunate, my dear. It's spiritual. But anything that has been done can be undone. I pray you get a good person to help you through it. Senna says, Madam, please, you and your husband should have a personal relationship with God. Cry to him because he has given us power to command mountains. And believe me, you will come out victorious. Mustafa says, this is nothing but witchcraft. Your husband confided in you because I'm sure he no longer is happy with what's happening. So don't give up on him now. You must be ready to fight spiritual battles if you want to keep your husband and your family together. Nothing is above and beyond God. Remember that. Oheneyere says, the woman has bewitched your husband. You've got to pray intensely for him before you lose him to her. You need to prepare yourself for war in your household. Mercy says, that prophetess is a witch. You better seek spiritual help and pray hard. She probably is using him for her own stuff. And please, she doesn't deserve to be called a prophetess because no Bible teaches this. And finally, Octavia says, wear a G-string and drop something on the floor in front of him and pretend to be picking it up with your bum staring him in the face. Trust me, he will be erect for the rest of the year. I'm sure she'll try that. But yeah, it doesn't sound like it's that simple. Anyway, we'll go for a commercial break. It's Sister Sister. Remember, the show is brought to you by Vodafone. We'll be right back.